Hello and welcome to ABW Live. We are talking Arsenal versus Leicester City, a 1-1 draw with an added benefit of a slightly bitter taste in our mouth as well. And I'm sure we'll get to the very many reasons why, but most of them start with VAR. Some might have an ending to them, some might not. But we should go and introduce the chat box because you guys have been in here chatting away whilst I've been messing around doing my hair and all sorts. I think the first person in the box was Rocky_7 GT UK. That's the first time I've seen that person top of the box. Then the Coltons, some guy called Danny the GFP, and 235100. Hans P, Phil Macker in there. What's going on down the bottom? Let's have a look, see who's chatting away at the moment. Carlito Aguna, K-Man 1867, Archie, we've got there in there as well. Mr. Epic, Alan Cracker. Right, we've got 40 of you 40 of you watching as well. 42 of you watching. 12 likes already. Decent. See if we can get that slightly higher though by the end of this. I reckon let's get it to 100. Like, if you hate VAR, do a thumbs up, basically, and I reckon that will sort us out for the rest of the show. But I introduced my two guests as well. This isn't an hour-long monologue, you lucky devils. There's some other people who get to talk to us. And I'll introduce Richard first, because I've said your name first.
How's it going, mate? You good?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. As I say, it's a bittersweet, or just bitter, to be honest. There's no sweetness to this result at all.
It was going so well.
It was. And yeah, I introduced Femi as well, who I assume you would have been there tonight if not for the fact, we
would have been getting wet still, wouldn't we? Because we're walking out of the stadium.
I suppose that's an upside, isn't it? When you looked out at the weather and I thought, to be fair, if I could have sacked it off, I would have done.
Oh man.
I don't know how Arteta did that in his beige trousers as well. If anybody's been listening to the Tuesday Clubs episode, beige trousers in that weather looks like he's had an absolute incident.
Ozil's money raft would have come in handy.
Absolutely, I thought I saw him sailing through the stands at half time. The entertainment of Ozil and his money raft. Right. I would say let's talk about the lineups. Not much has changed though. Femi, what did you reckon to that lineup? Pretty much unchanged, apart from Bellerin and Xhaka coming in.
Yeah, I think. Bellerin. I knew Bellerin would play. I had a feeling he would be rotating his fullbacks probably. Although Tierney plays every game now, but I had a feeling Bellerin and Cedric would be alternating in matches. I guess Pepe, I thought had a chance to start, but obviously if he had his missus had a baby 2 days ago, not him. I'm guessing that it's probably a bit strenuous for him, probably maybe a bit tired. So apart from that, there's not much other options. If you've got no Guendouzi to change anything in midfield, and Torreira's just coming back from injury, so you've only got the two midfielders. So just nothing to complain about lineup wise, to be fair.
Yeah, Richard, did you think it was reward for his goal in the previous game that we saw Lacazette start up front?
Yeah, I think so. I thought like he'd done well in the previous game. Like say, took his goal really well. So why not reward him? He seemed to be full of beans. So yeah, I didn't, when I saw the lineup, I didn't see any issues, but nothing stood out to me that I thought, I agree with Femi. I think Bellerin, Cedric, he's played his first game full game since the dawn of time, whenever he first started playing. So it was always going to be a bit of a mixture between him and Bellerin. So yeah, I saw no problems in it, and I saw no problems with giving Lacazette the nod up front.
Awesome. So yeah, let's start with the game. I don't want to go too much into the absentees about a certain Mr. Longhaired Frenchman, and as we've said, a German on a raft made of money, as they were both not in the squad, but say Pepe was on the bench on his comeback. But yeah, what did you guys make of that kind of first half before we scored our first goal? It was a bit weird. I don't really know how to kind of explain it. Femi, you got any ideas of what was going on in that like opening stages?
Yeah, I think the way Leicester played maybe surprised us a little bit. Even though I heard they played like that on their last game, whenever it was Saturday, I heard they went three at the back. But I think their three at the back was a little bit different to ours, as in they had two out and out strikers and one in behind. So they were kind of outnumbering us in midfield. So we found it really hard to get a hold of the ball in the early part of the game. I was actually looking for Ceballos and Xhaka, and they were pretty much on the back foot early on. So we spent a lot of time sort of chasing them around. But I think one thing that you could notice is on the counter, we were already causing them quite a lot of problems down each side, basically. So you could kind of see the pattern of play of the game really setting in from the start. But we let them have the ball, but we were very compact, didn't let them have any chances. I think they had one shot in that whole time, but we didn't give up anything to them until the second half, to be fair. We defended really resolute.
Yeah, Richard, we did see us almost get tricked from a corner early on. Don't know if you got that in your notes. Did that Iheanacho shot?
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of the Brighton mess. Let's say we just weren't ready, and we got a 2-on-1 against. Was it Saka who was like isolated?
Yeah.
It was a really good stop from Martinez. I like a goalkeeper that utilises their feet. Gets themselves out of trouble. It was it's just one of those things we need to learn from, because it's now happening one too many times, and we got lucky on that one. Like I say, it was a good save from Martinez. And I just thought, oh God, not again! Can't make the same mistake again. But I thought the start of the game, I thought our intensity, I was quite pleased with. I thought we was working quite well off the ball. I agree with Femi. I thought we was nice and compact. I thought that the having Luiz as the lone centre back and having Mustafi and Kolasinac like going forward and fishing for the ball, I thought it worked well, because like Femi said, they didn't really have all that many clear cut chances or anything apart from, like I said, that quick corner thing.
Yeah, I'll mention before we get to the goal as well, because it comes straight before, although I missed it out of my notes, was Kieran Tierney taking a shot for about 30-35 yards with all the vigour of a Glaswegian tramp kicking a can down the street. So from that, we missed the build-up to the first goal. So I'm not entirely sure, because Sky was showing a replay. Is it Ceballos with the ball?
Yeah, it was Ceballos, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to take it from there?
I'll let Richard take it. He looks excited about that ball.
It was well, because I've not been the biggest fan of Ceballos. I was calling him the Spanish Yossi Benayoun, but he was brilliant in that first half, and it was I can't remember who the midfielder was, but he just turned and went the other way. Saw Saka running, and it was just a beautiful ball, like slidable ball. One of those ones that really entices the defender. He thinks he's going to get it, and I think that's where Soyuncu tried to stick a leg out for it and completely done him. And then Saka, a lovely drop of the shoulder, just put Johnny Evans on his arse, and it was a lovely little setup for Aubameyang, who couldn't miss from there. But it was just a lovely bit of play from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Femi, what did you reckon to that goal as well?
Yeah, I think Ceballos had a bit of bite in him in the first half, didn't he? As well as the passing, so he was pinging balls all around the place. But yeah, that ball was absolutely inch perfect, and then Saka did what the last defender I saw that happened to was what was his name? Boateng, the Bayern Munich one.
Yeah. Messi did it to him.
Yeah, when Messi did it to him. Yeah, that's what Saka did to Johnny Evans there, and
he just dropped his shoulder, didn't he?
Yeah,
he just dropped his shoulder as if he was going to cut in on his left.
And here's the thing as well that you got to think about it. If that was Pepe, he might have got into that position, but he would have gone on his left, wouldn't he? He couldn't have gone on his right. That's the difference. Saka went past him to the right, and then he also put the cross in with his right foot as well. Pepe would never in a million years have put anything in with his right foot. It would have definitely been. It would have gone to Evans, basically. He would have blocked him off on that left side because Pepe's only got one way he can go. And that just shows, even though Saka's very left-footed as well, it just shows that he's so skillful. He can go with his right as well, crossed it in with his right, just inch perfect.
Yeah, I think it reminds me a lot of... Now, this is the problem when other games kind of meld into one. So whenever Newcastle played West Ham, that could have been yesterday, that could have been 3 months ago, as far as all the football that's been played. But Jared Bowen, kind of the same thing. He's like super left-footed, and he kind of had to take a couple of touches before he crossed it across the box. And I was seeing that with Saka, and I was like, oh, he's going to have to take a touch, isn't he? And just the way he played that ball through into the back post was just superb. And just, we properly got them. And I think from there, the only real opportunities we had was just superb goalkeeping from Schmeichel. Are there any chances that come out from you guys that really, that you reckon?
Yeah, we had the Saka chance when he was through one-on-one with him. That was quite a straightforward save. But once again, Saka with a shot with his right foot. That was one of the chances. What was the other chance? There was a
big chance. There was another one. Yeah, there was another one that it was. Who was it? It was Lacazette got the shot. I think.
Yes.
Saka went through and crossed it. I think again with his right foot might have been crossed it to Lacazette, and Lacazette's really good at controlling the ball, getting it out of his feet, and then just whipping a low, hard, fierce shot. And it was a really good save. He got down so quick, Kasper Schmeichel, and he got a strong palm on it and pushed it away. It was really, really good save. Really, really good save.
I've got the Lacazette header as well.
Well, that was the one that, I mean, the first chance, I mean, a lot of people are saying Lacazette missed, a couple of chances, but the first chance was, like Rich said, was just a massive save, strong wrist, strong hands, got it way clear of the goal. The header, he is stretching a lot, but, if I picture a Giroud heading that ball to, like, for example, he would have buried that header.
He needed to head it into the ground, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He needed to head it downwards. It was just absolutely perfect length, height, whatever you want to call it for the keeper. It just he couldn't believe he's locked the keeper there.
What a pick out from Bellerin, though. What a ball! It was a great ping.
It's like Cedric scoring in the last game has kind of put a rocket up Bellerin because he looked so much better going forward compared to everyone else. Or like his previous outings anyway. We then got the first bit of VAR. I think we had that as well with Leicester's goal that they had in the first half. It was Iheanacho kind of bundled over, and I want to say it was
Kolasinac.
Yeah. I think we got away with that one a little bit because I've seen those kind of given. It's just a get up. It was quite a feisty game.
I think I mean it was a foul, to be fair. I think that didn't even go to VAR, to be fair. The ref kind of spotted it as it was going past him, so the ref
it wasn't. It was Sean Massey. It was the line.
The liner did wave the flag, but she waved the flag after the ball had gone past, so it was a bit of a weird situation. But in terms of the defending, it wasn't. It was Saka who gave the ball away, actually, running up the field. That was when we were right in the flow of the game, and he gave the ball away. We got to be careful of that because we haven't been getting caught on that transition as much as I mean when we're playing on the Freddie and Emery, that was just a standard move, give away the ball in midfield, and teams are straight at you. So we got to be careful of that, especially on Sunday with that team that we're playing. That's the type of thing that they probably would love to do. But I mean, Kolasinac had a weird game today. I thought it was decent, but not special. That's a change that I thought we would have made actually. Not played him for once, but it seems that the other two defenders are just not fancied. To be honest with you,
I think it's the fact that he's left-footed. It means he can open his body out and play the ball out to Tierney and play the ball into the channels for Aubameyang and stuff like that. I also think that he's got a bit more pace than say Sokratis would or a Holding would. And like I said, when you had Luiz in the middle, who was stationary, he didn't really come out forward all that much. It was in the channels. It was Kolasinac was whenever Iheanacho went short, Kolasinac was in on him and banging him again, and same with Vardy on the other side with Mustafi. Them two were the fishers. They were going fishing for the drop ball in midfield, and it was Luiz standing back. So, and I think maybe they might be better suited to that because they're a little bit more mobile and a little bit quicker.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. I kind of agree from that one. Sorry, I was interacting with the chat box, so seeing what they were talking about. Yeah, in terms of, it's interesting that Rob Holding, I think is the name kind of mentioned. We saw him pop up as left centre back for a while. He just kind of disappeared whilst we've got this system set in with three at the back. Is that probably the only name that we might see that would come in to rotate with anybody from our defence?
Yeah, but I think Richard's probably right. It is probably a left foot element because even when we originally went to the back three, you saw that Tierney played that left side centre back, and then Xhaka was playing left wing back. So I wouldn't be shocked against Tottenham to see Tierney drop into the back three and Xhaka go to left wing back so that Pepe can come in. I think you might see that, to be honest with you, because Xhaka has to stay in the team. But you I want to see Pepe in this new setup as well because it's not as dominant on the left side anymore. We're kind of playing on both sides now. Even, to be fair, the right side in the first half was our dominant side, so he would have really enjoyed a game like that. Since he's been in the team, we've been everything's been going down the left, and now the forwards are not playing as wide as well. They're kind of playing more tucked in. So I think you'll probably see Pepe enjoying himself on Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially if they start Aurier at right back as well, it will have an absolute field day against that walking red card. But I think that kind of sums like the first half up for us. There's just a load and load of chances that just Schmeichel was batting away until we could just rule him out of contention.
See, they're just showing a replay of something that happened in the first half, which is kind of, it didn't even get a yellow card. Vardy's foot into Mustafi's face.
Oh, yeah.
Which he didn't even get a yellow card for that. I mean, yeah, it might have been an accident, but it's not as much of an accident, but it's still, a foot in the face. And the referee didn't even look at it. He didn't even say anything, to be fair. VAR didn't look at that. So I just wonder when VAR decides that it's going to take a look at stuff, really.
I assume it's if it only thinks it's a red card offence. And if it's a yellow, it doesn't really look at them. But yeah, I get what you mean, because to be honest, it's not in my notes. I remember seeing it, but I was a bit like, oh, well, that's just, it's innocuous. It's just, it doesn't mean to come over in that way. And it's just, he's not trying to catch Mustafi in the face with his foot, and his reaction to the whole situation. You can tell when a player's going over to another player and giving him like a pity. Oh, you're right, mate. I better do this, get the act in so I don't get a yellow. He looked genuinely like, oh God, how have I managed to catch him in the face there? Rich, what did you reckon?
I in my notes I just put Mustafi takes a boot to the face from Vardy. No intent, pure accident. It was just one of those things. He couldn't control his body as he was falling, and his leg just swung out. I agree with when you saw in the replay, and you see straight away his foot hits him, and straight away he turns and he's got his hand out, and I genuinely don't think there was anything untoward to it, to be fair.
But to be fair, I would say, based on what happens later in the game and our red card, totally should have been sent off. If we're going about innocuous kind of challenges that causes actual bodily harm, then yeah, maybe should have been a red card for Mr. Vardy. But yeah, half time, we didn't make any changes this time. It's kind of a slow start to that first half, isn't it, from us? The second half, sorry. Slow getting out of the blocks. Richard, do you have anything from like the early stages of that second half?
No, not really. Not a lot was going on. I thought that we were being a lot more measured. I thought we looked. I say of course that we didn't want to go out and shoot our load kind of thing, for want of a better phrase. We didn't want to go crazy. There was a couple of times where we could have broke, and it was just calm, retain possession, recycle the ball, which I was okay. I was okay with. Leicester have got previous for coming on strong in games and stuff like that. So I wasn't too untoward by that. But it's as it got on and the game, the second half went on, I thought we were starting to look really tired. We had stopped pressing. Let's say there was a lack of intent and energy in what we were doing, which was allowing Leicester to get more into the game and more onto the ball.
Yeah, Femi, we had a goal disallowed as well. Kind of in there from Lacazette. Was there another point you wanted to come on to?
No. I'm trying to remember. The goal that we had disallowed. Yeah.
Because not a lot happened.
Yeah, he was offside. To be fair, it was quite a bit offside. But it was a good finish for once. It was the corners were actually really good today. We had quite a lot of corners, which is unusual for us. We had I think they said the stat in the first half, which is our most shots on target in a single half, joint most this season. So you can see that we do have more attacking intent, and we had a lot. I counted. I saw 7, at the beginning of the second half, and they had 1. So we were really, dominant in terms of just our attacking play and just our intensity, like Richard said as well. And that was intensity going both ways. So it was. As soon as they lost the ball, you see them sprinting back, goal kicks. You saw Leicester trying to take quick goal kicks as well in this match. So as soon as they got a goal kick, they were just pumping it up the field. But our players were sprinting back. But yeah, we have been coming out of halves quite slow, to be honest. So this was actually a lot better of a second half. First 15 against Norwich, we were under pressure. Yeah. Against Wolves, we were massively under pressure until the drinks break. Then we got ourselves together. So this game we were much more, even though they had a lot of the ball, we were much more controlled in the second half.
Yeah, what did you think to Lacazette's performance as well? Because shortly after he comes off, and we'll mention the player he comes off, he's replaced by in a second because they don't last that long. So, but yeah, what did you reckon? Because he was getting into good positions. I could constantly hear him screaming when a defender would cut out a through ball that was going to it.
I thought he was going to say when he gets fouled, he loves that. Lacazette. If he gets a touch, he dives up, jumps in the air. He loves that.
I can see him getting a lot of stick in a few chat rooms that I've been in or WhatsApp chats, and I'll see a lot of complaints. But to be fair, I saw I thought he sacrificed himself for the team tonight. His hold-up play was much better in the first half. His link-up play was just excellent. And I think that's form coming back. To be fair with him, he's been way off form. So tonight was a big improvement. It's just unfortunate that his finishing kind of let him down. That goal would have been perfect for him. I think he worked really hard for the team. He worked his socks off. He didn't. Usually when you see Lacazette being taken off, he looks like the world's on his shoulder. But tonight he knew that he put in a shift, and he was you knew he was shattered when he was coming off. So he put in a good shift. Let's see how he gets on in the next game. To be fair.
Yeah, and he's going to have to start the next game. I think
3 games.
So, yeah. for that one. Before we chat about Nketiah's cameo, should we talk about Saka as well, who came off in the same period? Because I think it's another great game from him. It was a stat that came up. Was it 14 assists he's got this season?
It was really.
It was
Yeah,
12. Trent
12.
had 14. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty insane statistic for a kid at only 18. How did you feel he kind of performed today, guys? Is there anything that kind of stuck out for you?
I thought he performed much better in this game. Like I thought the Wolves game, bar his goal, I think he was, not that he had a terrible performance, but he wasn't as good as he normally is. Slightly a little bit lost out on that right-hand side. Whereas I thought he was much more influential in this game. He was, that's it. Whenever he was a threat. When the whole game he was on the pitch, whenever we stepped up a gear and we went into that next round, we moved things a little bit quicker. He was in and amongst everything, and I thought he was much better. But you could see as that second half, we were just all of us. We were absolutely knackered. We needed these subs to energise us because Ceballos, I think, had run himself into the ground. Bless him. He really put a shift in today, Ceballos, and I think Saka did as well. I think it was, you'd see the levels drop down, and we needed that drinks break and those subs to energise, because that's what happened in the Wolves game. The Wolves games, we had started to, as Femi said, like Wolves came at us in the second half, and then we brought on Lacazette, we brought on Willock, and then we took the game away, and we could have scored a couple more against Wolves. And I thought we were going to do that tonight when we made the subs that we did when we did. Because Leicester weren't really doing anything, and I thought with that extra energy with Willock, with Nketiah, because one of the things, so I know I'm rambling here, going slightly off topic, but one of the things Nketiah gives you that Lacazette kind of doesn't is a bit more speed in running beyond the defender, off the shoulder of the defender, and running into channels. And I thought that was just what we needed. Shame of how it turned out a couple of seconds later.
Well, yeah, should we talk about that? So I think he comes on on the 69th minute. Takes a while for everything to happen because I think a drinks break happens at the same time. Leicester, they get a corner, we kind of clear from it, and then Eddie Nketiah decides the best place for him to put his foot is into James Justin's knee. VAR takes about 4 days to come to the decision.
I think they're still checking it now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Does anybody on first, because the referee gave it as a yellow initially, when you first saw it in real time from the angle, obviously we have in like the broadcast view, does anybody think it was more than a yellow?
No. First, like I said, first replay is when I thought, he's in trouble here. I wish they just took a quick free kick and maybe you would have got away with it. But yeah, it's the same as the Aubameyang was at Palace, isn't it? As soon as the first replay went, you thought, he's in trouble here.
What did you think, Josh? Did you think it was a?
I mean, I thought it was a yellow. And I was like, okay, it's fine, it's a yellow. VAR's looking at it, I'm like, sure. They're just doing it as like a precautionary measure. We've seen them put offsides through that are blatantly obvious just because, the guy's got a new tool, so he's going to mess around with it for a bit. But then I think, I'm probably not exaggerating, it took me about 13 angles that they flicked through. And I'm sure they did at least 20. But it was when I kind of then clocked that Eddie catches Justin right in the knee, and you see the guy's knee bend like this, like it doesn't go in a natural way. Kind of goes like that. For everybody not looking on video, they can see that I'm trying to do a bent knee that's kind of flexed sideways rather than going the way a knee should go.
He turned in on it, didn't he? He turned away from the challenge.
Yeah, kind of flex. Yeah, he turns into it, and I think if he doesn't do that, Eddie comes straight in on top of his thigh. It probably doesn't look as bad. Still bad where he's caught him, but I think as soon as you see that, you're like,
he clearly came on a bit too pumped up, didn't he? He does make quite a few fouls.
I thought he tried to control the ball. I thought he tried to control the ball, just completely mistimed it, and unfortunately, Justin, whatever his name, Beaver, whatever, I don't know, was just happened to be there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me and I'm misremembering.
It was his foot did slip as well. To be fair, he did have I mean, it was really wet conditions, obviously, and he did have a little bit of a slip on his studs as well. So it all just. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, once you catch a player that high up, you're running the risk basically of getting a red card.
Yeah, I completely agree. As soon as you saw there was contact made, and that was the only worry I had. I was like, without proper contact made and without it looking as bad as it did, it's probably absolutely fine for a yellow card. You could see what Eddie was trying to do. He's trying to, catch the ball on the end of his toe that knocks it round the last man, and he's off. He's away. Aubameyang's probably catching up with him because the guy is absolutely lightning. But yeah, unfortunate to see us go down to 10 men. So that kind of forces our hands a little bit. We then see Ceballos come off and little Lucas come on, who didn't look as ginger as he did in the last game. Not that looking ginger is a bad thing. I'll make sure I get that in quickly.
I think that was the rain, to be fair.
Yeah, it might have been the rain.
Just flattened his hair.
But yeah, we talked about Ceballos already a little bit. But, once we saw him against Norwich, and you were like, yeah, he's good, but can he do it on against a decent team? And we've seen him put in these back-to-back performances against Wolves and now Leicester. Femi, how do you feel about Ceballos in these last couple of games, and would you look to try and bring him in permanently in the summer?
He surprised me. I didn't think he had any of. I mean, the tackling today was just superb, wasn't it? The interceptions, the ball winning. They had like a little duo as soon as he came. Xhaka came. They were doubling up in the middle. It's just a first half. That was one of the best central midfield performances I've seen at Arsenal for a long, long time. That was a proper old school Cesc Fabregas performance there, pinging the ball around, slide rule passes. I don't know. I would say that what we should do is take him on loan for another year if we can get that sorted, because I'm sure that's probably the best option for both teams, for us to take him on loan for a year. He might be happier now because he's playing games. I'd just say, yeah, take him on loan. That's another midfielder. That's on the numbers. If we're losing Guendouzi and then we can get a stronger midfielder, a holding midfielder, I think that will complement it very well. But yeah, why not just go to Madrid and say, can we keep him for another season on loan?
Yeah, I think they've got quite a few in that kind of position as well in midfield. It was one of the things that I was like, I better quickly get this ready for the podcast. And now I'm currently doing it whilst I talk, of getting up who's in the Real Madrid midfield at the moment. But they've got Casemiro, Valverde, Cruz, Modric, Isco. They've still got James Rodriguez on their books. They've got a young Brazilian, Renier, and Diaz, who I think they got from Man City.
Yeah.
From Man City. And then obviously they've got, like Hazard, Asensio, Lucas Vasquez, all those kind of wingers in a team that could kind of drop a little further in. So, yeah, you kind of look at that group and you're thinking, where is he going to get that game time? Or are they going to look to bring in another younger model?
So I'm seeing Danny putting in the chat box. He says Danny Ceballos is a 5 million low fee plus 60k wages from the ABW website. I mean, you go for that, wouldn't it? That saves you a lot of money, rather than if you've not got a big budget in the summer. Just that's a smart move. Those are the types of moves that we're probably going to have to make this summer. And he's already there as our player, so we can make that happen, I think.
Yeah, Rich, what do you reckon to keep him hold down?
That's not a bad shout. I think two performances you can't really buy a player on 2 performances, but I think the loan idea is a great shout. Like I said, I can't see how he's going to get into the Madrid first 11. So yeah, why not? He seems to enjoy it here under Arteta. He's having a bit of a renaissance. You know, we've now had him for a season. We know he knows what is expected and how we want to play and stuff like that. And it's just say, why not? I'd say yeah, go for it. I think buying him might be a little bit. I don't know. Would you drop 40 plus million for the back of these 2 guys? I don't know.
I wouldn't drop 40 million on him. I might drop 30. Let's put it that way.
I'm sticking with Femi. Get a loan deal.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, if we can get him on a loan on a option to buy, we could see on there. But who knows on that one. But anyway, a few minutes later, I think Leicester made a couple of changes as well. With Eddie coming off, they brought on Demarai Gray, and they managed to score. I'm not entirely sure who to blame from Arsenal for this one, because there's so many bodies in there. And I'm a bit of a fan of Demarai Gray. So I was kind of looking at what he was doing rather than the Arsenal players. So if anyone could tell me who was meant to be closing them down, that would be great.
But that's the thing. There was nobody doing any closing down. We'd completely stopped pressuring the ball, and even when we did win the ball, we were just absolutely leathering it into nowhere, which seems all well and good, but all you're doing is just inviting more pressure onto yourselves. You know, it was nobody came out of pressure the ball, and it was a delightful it did a slide, well, not even a slide pass, it was like a low curling cross across the things. I've seen an image though that from Demarai Gray's ball, Vardy looks offside. Forgetting the Iozi Perez, whether he touched it or not as part of VAR, I wanted them to spend more time looking at, because I swear I've seen a picture, like in the brief thing before we started the show, that Vardy looks offside.
I thought that as well. On the first replay, I thought he's offside here, because if they do all that armpit stuff that they've been doing all season, his shoulder was offside, not even his armpit. But then when they took the replays back, they didn't take it from the same position, because it looked like they called it earlier and then took the picture from there. It was just a weird. I really don't understand this.
It's like they didn't bother with that, and they just fannied about trying to see if Iozi Perez had touched the ball.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the body offside. I kind of see him. He is in an offside position before Gray plays it. Is to kind of go, "Hey, Gray, I'm here, but I'm going to duck behind the centre backs." You know, when you see like Ian Wright in the kind of poacher thing, he'd sneak offside a little bit and try and bring the defence deeper, or he'd then sneak back onside just as the ball's played. I thought that's what Vardy kind of had done, but as I say, I haven't seen the angle for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird one, isn't it? I think though, for us, I'd have to look at the communication between Hector and Mustafi on the back post there. So, between the two of them, someone must have seen that. I know it's a good run, but Hector, he's got a man. He's got Joe Willock covering him on the outside. Surely he can come and tuck in and help. And then when you got 3 centre backs, Mustafi must be the furthest along on that side covering. So those are the little things where you watch Mustafi and you think, oh, he's going to get a new contract here, isn't he? And then you watch a little thing like that, you're thinking, oh, if it's a top centre back, just that awareness, that little thing that makes you a good centre back to a great centre back, he just doesn't have it, and that thing as well for Hector that makes you from a good fullback to a great fullback is that communication, that knowing that, okay, my centre back's in trouble here and coming in and covering. they just missed it. And in the Premier League, that split second, you got smart players like Vardy. I'm not digging out Hector, by the way, looking at the chat. I'm just saying, for that incident between the two of them, communication would have really gone a long way.
Yeah, it was a wonderful ball from Damari Gray.
Yeah, I feel that was the problem that distracted me from looking at who was at fault for Arsenal, because I was like, that's a great ball. I just want to keep watching that ball again. I think it was like the Man City goal where Jason was having a go at me about how I didn't know which Arsenal player was at fault for it. And I was like, mate, it's because it was a great goal. That's why. I was watching them attack us. I wasn't looking at why we weren't defending it. So yeah, that was kind of a kick in the teeth then. We roll into 8 minutes of added time. So if anybody who didn't see the game, that tells you roughly how long they spent on VAR decisions for that offside or checking that offside, and the Nketiah red card is that we ended up with 8 minutes because there wasn't many subs either. I think we only went through, we made 4 subs in the end. Arteta left it kind of late compared to the other games where he's made substitutions. But the only one we saw was Aubameyang come off for Maitland-Niles. What do you reckon to Aubameyang's performance today? Because I saw a lot more work rate from him than I think I've seen previous. But Rich, I don't know, what do you think about
that? Yeah. I thought he was very, very good. It's like his willingness to run the channels as well and work hard. It was really, really good. Some of his link-up play with Tierney was good as well. Letting Tierney overlap him and playing him in. It was one of those things where he pretty much left it all out on the pitch. He ran himself into the ground. You can't really have a pop at Aubameyang. And then when Nketiah did go get sent off and he went up top, lumping balls up in the air to Aubameyang, that's not his game. He's not going to be able to do anything for you in that regard. But yeah, because I mean, I was a bit critical of him after the Brighton game. I thought he seemed a bit down in the dumps and a bit I don't know, like he didn't look interested. But he was fantastic tonight. I thought he was really, really good, like attitude wise. Can't really complain.
Yeah, Femi, did you think the same? Because he looked absolutely knackered when he came off as well.
Yeah. I mean, he played well. He played well today. It was like first half, him and Xhaka caused all sorts of problems. His movement obviously is just on par with Jamie Vardy's movement. They're just razor sharp. Anytime they get near the box, you're thinking, you can't pick these guys up. But yeah, he does play a lot of 90 minutes, doesn't he? So and the amount of games we've played 2 more games than most other teams, and we've literally been playing. This is the first time I think we have a break, or we play, before we have a break before the team we're playing. So we've been playing every 3 days. No other team has had that type of run. So and he's been playing nearly every 90 minutes, apart from one game. So we need to find a way to re-sign this guy. He's a machine, to be honest with you. No matter how much it's going to cost, it will be painful to give him a 3-year contract at that age. But when you've got some players that are super fit, super athletes, Ronaldo scoring 25 and 24 and 25 or something like that for Juventus at age 35. Sometimes you just have players that are freaks of nature that just don't get injured.
That guy's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, they don't get injured. Oba doesn't get injured. He plays he can play 90 minutes.
Touch wood, Femi. Touch wood. Like, let's not jinx it, mate. Let's not jinx it.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So he put in a shift tonight. Going up front, like Rich said, lumping balls was pretty hopeless. But to be fair, when he came off and Joe Willock went up front, he caused a lot of problems for them for that last 8 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like seeing the return of Sonogo for a bit. It was like the chaotic presence that he was up there. And he nearly got a chance with us towards the end as well. I think he took a few too many step overs where I think he was better just trying to get a shot on target, because I don't think Schmeichel was catching much tonight. He was generally parrying it away and kind of either get a corner or see what else we could have got out of it. You know, a lucky deflection or anything could have happened in that condition. But I think that kind of covers the game for us. Disappointing for a 1-1. I will ask you one question before I then jump to the chat box and questions. Do you think now with this draw, I think I'd said previously that from our final 6 games, that if we got 6 wins, we could be hopeful for Champions League? Do you think that's kind of gone now? Like any chance of us getting in Champions League place?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just looked at the table. We'll be very lucky to get Europa League. Unfortunately, it's that tight that, you know, if Sheffield United or one of those teams win behind us on this week, you know, we could end up back in 9th, 10th place again by the end of the week. By the weekend, it's that tight. So I think 5th is gone. To be honest with you, United United and Chelsea. If you look at their fixture list, I don't know where this computer draws up this fixture list from, that we end up with, you know, Wolves away, Leicester, Tottenham, and Liverpool in our last 6 games, and United end up with, you know, all the fodder teams, and Chelsea end up with all the teams that have nothing, absolutely nothing to play for. So you got to look at their fixture list as well. They literally have they've got nothing. They can just steamroll at every team that they're playing, and then everyone thinks that they're an amazing team, even though they're playing nobody basically.
Yeah, my fantasy football team is completely attest to how easy Man United's running is. But guess what? I brought De Gea in because I thought, they'll keep a clean sheet, even though I slate De Gea. Oh, what does he do? Goes and chucks a couple in against Bournemouth. Useless prick. But anyway, right. Chat box. I haven't spoken to you much other than chatting with you in the middle, and my screen won't open because I can't see how many likes I've got. Let's have a look. I don't know. I know there's 124 of you. What I do doubt is we haven't got 124 likes. So I can see Jason Davies is in there, probably shouting tappy tappy at you lot. And you know the drill. Just get in there, give us a little tap, give us a like, drop us a comment. Danny's always in there chatting. I occasionally drop in there. I think I've seen the Pirate in there as well. Occasionally, if you drop some comments, just gives us a little boost, helps our egos, helps your egos, because you go, I like this stuff, and it'll be great. And we can move on to some questions from you guys as well. First one who we're going to go to, let's go to Rich for this, is from Phil Macker. Says, so happy to see Tierney finally becoming a permanent fixture. Do you think he's the best left back since Ashley Cole?
Absolutely. When I went to, it was one of the first games I've been to in a while. I went to the Nottingham Forest game, which I think was his first game. I remember turning to my mate Adam and I said those words. I said, he's the best left back we've had since Cole, since Cashley. I love his energy. I love his approach. The crosses the guy puts in, they are so dangerous. I love his no nonsense attitude. I love that he's a shouter and a baller. So he's absolutely fantastic. I've noticed that he was tonight, and I was like, oh God, not again! Like he was as the game wore on, you could see he was like favouring his thigh, because I think, like you say, he's barely played at all this season. And then we're asking him to play a pretty demanding physical game, and he's playing pretty much 90 minutes almost every game. But yeah, he's so fantastic. I'm such a big fan of KT. Like I say, he's young. He could, like I said, play even in a back three if you wanted him to as well. Absolutely fantastic. The best left back we've had since Ashley Cole, without a doubt.
I mean, Femi, are you shouting anything for Andre Santos, or is it? Or do you agree as well?
Yeah, Kieran Gibbs, honourable mention for Gibbs, and Gail Clichy, and to be fair, Nacho was decent, wasn't he? He was he was a solid left
He
back
was
for a while.
solid,
But
yeah. He was solid.
but Kieran Tierney has something about him, doesn't he? He just looks the part, and his crossing is excellent as well. First time crossing on the run, which is just spectacular. To be fair with you, he was brilliant today. I mean, if it wasn't for Ceballos, I would say man of the match today. He was excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Who would your man of the match be as well, Rich?
My man of the match was Ceballos, with closely followed by KT. Both of them were really, really good, but I just think the way Ceballos controlled the game in that first half was just fantastic. And you really, when he started to, his energy started to dip, that's where you saw that we couldn't control the game and we just couldn't keep hold of the ball. He was so instrumental. So he was my man of the match, old Ceballos.
Nice. Next question. I'm going to go for the one from Boy 10 Dio. Does Leno get his spot back when he gets back from injury, or has Martinez won like the number one shirt? Femi, what do you reckon to that?
Let them fight it out. Let them fight it out. Martinez has been so impressive. I honestly had so much doubts about this guy. He looks, whenever I saw him play, he looks so erratic. When he just seemed to just have. But to be fair, when you're now not having keepers making save after save after save, you know, it's a bit unfair on Leno as well, because he was literally saved our season, and I think people do tend to forget that he was like a one-man wall at the beginning of the season. I mean, he was the amount of shots we were conceding was. I mean, remember like the first 4 or 5 games, we had conceded like 100 shots. It was absolutely unbelievable. So you got to be a bit careful, because Leno has not had a solid defense. Even when we come back from lockdown, the City game, all over the place. The game against Brighton, fair enough, he only lasted a little while in that. But imagine the way we've been a lot more solid now with Leno as well. So you got to be a bit careful. And you know, he's done well. He controls the game a lot. Martinez, his starting position is excellent. You know, he darts out of the box. He reminds me of the City keepers, to be honest with you. I'm sure Arteta will be loving him at the moment. So Leno's got a fight on his hands now. Let's get Martinez signed up on a long contract so we don't lose him. How about that?
He's going to be getting a testimonial soon, isn't he, Martin?
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
10 years and 10 appearances, isn't it, in the Premier League?
Outstanding.
He's done well. Yeah, definitely. He seems like a second goalkeeper, though. I've still got that kind of feeling about him, that he's just a reliable second choice. But
yeah, I mean, if we're in the Europa League, he'll have plenty of games if we do make it to Europa League. You know, but how many? You probably play 38 games in the Europa League alone anyway. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and to be fair, I think one thing he has done is a lot of us are now less worried about seeing Martinez when he pops up on the team sheet. Because I think before that, when you've seen him in the cup games and we're going, oh, really? Can't we just play Leno? And I think getting that run of games has really, really helped him, especially after his name change after the Reading debacle. I'll go with the 7-5 when he was Damian Martinez and now he's Emi Martinez. But sure, I wish I could do something like that as well, to forget my past, change my name. Maybe I'll go and visit a vacuum shop at some point for any Breaking Bad references. Right, let's go. Final question. So we're getting cautious. We're going for nearly an hour, and some of us want to go to bed. Let's go for this one from Jonas Setnangberg. This question on Ceballos as well. I'll ask this to both of you. I'll start with you, Rich. Ceballos is our most creative midfielder, but is he alone enough for the future? Don't bring up Ozil.
Well, I say with him in the side, and the fact that we're in the formation that we're playing in a minute, we're much more creative on the wings and with those wide players. and especially if he carries on playing like he's played in the last 2 games, and like Femi said at the top of the show, doing it against Norwich is one thing. This is a very good Leicester side. So yeah, why not? Why can't he do that? Especially if you've got the surrounding cast around him, people like Xhaka, people like Pepe when he comes in, and them supplying the bullets to them. Yeah, why can't he do that? I can't see why not. I don't know what you guys think.
I think one thing with that we've got to remember is we will not be playing, and I guarantee this, we will not be playing a back 3 next season. We will be playing a 4-3-3 because you can see that is what Arteta wants to play. This is just a stopgap, a way to just shore us up. He will be playing 4 at the back, so we will have an extra midfielder because he wants control of the games. So if we get a tough tackling, holding midfielder, you will see Ceballos or someone like that being more free. And I think we will buy a young sort of attacking midfielder as well. I think the days of number 10 at Arsenal is over, to be honest with you. I can't see us playing a proper number 10. I don't see us playing that formation anymore. I think the 4-3-3 is what the modern style of coaches prefer, the Klopps, the Guardiolas, and I'm sure that's what Arteta will be looking towards. So you will see a lot more freedom for our central midfielders, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think I agree with what K-Man 1867 has dropped into the chat box as well, is that we have an average midfield at the moment. It's the reason why we've kind of got 3 at the back, is because we don't have 3 decent midfielders to play a 4-3-3 with. We just don't have that balance yet. And I think we'll kind of see that in the summer. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps. I'm going to wrap the show up here. We are doing a podcast tomorrow. It is live. It is at 7:30 UK time. And can I remember who is on it? I think I can, because I'm one of them. So it is me, Danny, I want to say it's Carl, and then special guests on it. We haven't heard from him across, I know it's Chris, it's not Carl, across lockdown. And it is Jeff with his brand new collection of Pogs. I think that's what Danny was alluding to. He's got some
Pogs.
Pogs, remember Pogs from the 90s?
Yeah. The little disc that you'd slam onto the...
Yeah, he's been collecting those. He's got a couple of shinies, and he's going to tell us all about them in the show tomorrow. At least that's what Danny told me anyway. Who knows?
Outstanding.
But right, guys, if you get into the chat box tomorrow, we can chat again and throw your questions in. I've forgotten how to end a show again. Danny, it's happened again. Someone tell me how to end a show. I've forgotten. But yes, we have been a Bergkamp Wonderland. I will say thank you to my guests, Rich, Femi. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah, and some great points as well. Cheers, guys. And I've got to click end broadcast, and hopefully my mouse works. Otherwise, this will be really awkward.